My Lords, I would first like to offer my congratulations to the noble Lord, Lord Clement Jones, on securing a second reading for his bill. It has been a fascinating, constructive debate with much unanimity, and I would like to welcome and add my congratulations to my noble friend Lord Grade and my noble friend Baroness Rawlings on such excellent maiden speeches. My noble friend Lord Grade's witty, wise, wide-ranging speech was a treat. Of course we look forward to many more occasions to hear his wisdom. It will be of no consolation, though, to him that after many years in your lordship's house I still go around in circles, but no longer do I dare ask my way. My noble friend Baroness Rawlings enchanted us with all her Welsh connections and experience in cultural matters, and will be a huge asset to your lordship's house. Now, it's a good, though rare, occasion to follow the opposition minister and agree with most of what the noble Lord Stevenson said so eloquently and so clearly. My lords, the case for change relating to the regulation of live music has been well made by nearly all noble lords here today, both inside and outside the House. The government is in agreement with my noble friend on the need to reform, and we are committed to delivering change. The coalition agreement states that we will cut red tape to encourage the performance of more live music, and we are keen to deliver this promise. This doesn't preclude the use of my noble friend Lord Teverson's iPod. We have a clear, unequivocal intention to free performers from unnecessary regulation and to return the right of performers of all ages to perform. For all the good intentions of the Licensing Act 2003, it is clear that there are many instances where public and voluntary organisations that make up the fabric of our society have been affected adversely and by unnecessary regulation. There have been countless representations from musicians, teachers and many other like charities during the passage of the licensing bill in 2003. This still continues. We have heard from the noble Baroness Lady Bakewell, from all her experience, that the licensing regime deters schools and hospitals, village halls and community centres from putting on events for the benefit of the local community or in support of charitable activities. My lords, my noble friend Lord Colwyn, who has been involved with live music petitions for many years, has been involved with the Licensing Act 2003, thought there would be an explosion of number of gigs in small places, but this has not happened, as he so rightly said. He stressed that live music is thriving in larger places. Smaller events have been cancelled due to licensing requirements or because expensive and restrictive conditions have been imposed. All these obstacles reduce the scope for new talent to flourish, as small-scale places find it harder to stay open as they are strangled with red tape. There is a role, too, played by the public houses, as mentioned by my noble friend Lord Redesdale, in local communities. There is evidence that the public houses have diversified to include activities other than just drinking, were in a better position to survive the recession. It is important to make it easier to put on live performances that can provide an important source of new income to struggling businesses such as public houses, restaurants and hotels. In 2009, the Culture, Media and Sports Select Committee recommended that the government consult on permitting live music for low-capacity audiences, which the previous government took forward last year. In recent days, we have seen another early day motion in support of live music deregulation garnering support in another place. We agree with my noble friend that reform in this area is necessary and that it is the right thing to do to help local communities and to boost the big society, as well as helping businesses, and doing so in a manner that at the same time that the reform makes certain appropriate public protections are in place to cover issues such as noise, nuisance, as the noble Lord Stevenson said. My Lords, we are pleased to announce that it is the government's intention to be supportive of the live music bill. I must, though, add a number of caveats before we can offer unreserved support. Firstly, we would wish to support my noble friend in examining the technical aspects of the bill to make certain that the legislation operates as effectively as possible and that it has no unintended or adverse consequences in the way that it amends the Licensing Act 2003. Secondly, we would wish to explore issues relating to the time limits for live music performance. The previous government's public consultation on the removal of restrictions for live music was predicted on a cut-off point of 11 p.m. rather than midnight, as currently outlined in the live music bill. This is an important point, and we would wish to work with my noble friend to amend the bill to reflect this and to make certain of our continued support. Thirdly, we will need to explore with my noble friend, Lord Clement Jones, issues such as what the effect of the provisions of the bill should be on conditions imposed by licensing authorities prior to such time as the proposed legislation comes into force. These things aside, my Lords, we are clear that we wish to support my noble friend's bill. We are pleased that the bill retains key local protections, including the right for licensing authorities, local residents and other interested parties to request a review of premises license where there are concerns about licensing objectives of preventing crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and, as my noble friend Lady Benjamin would appreciate, the protection of children from harm. It is important that licensing authorities and local residents and business retain this right, and that robust controls remain in place to deal swiftly and effectively with problem premises. As part of the discussion process within government, we will be conducting a full impact assessment on my noble friend's bill that will be subject to agreement from Regulatory Policy Committee. We see that my noble friend Lord Clement's bill as being an important and complementary part of any reform, and will do all we can to help the bill reach the statute book if appropriately amended. We can offer support for the bill today on wider issues raised by Lord Stevenson and others. These are wider, active discussions we will be having with the government. So to conclude, I offer my congratulations once again to my noble friend on his bill and reiterate the government's general support, qualified as I have outlined earlier, for measures. We would wish to see the bill amended to take account of the 11 p.m. noise cut-off for unlicensed live music performance to make certain he has continued support. We would like to explore consequential drafting and other amendments with my noble friend in committee. We are delighted to see the bill retains the key protections from the Licensing Act 2003, whilst making certain that low-risk community events are no longer prevented or overburdened by red tape and bureaucracy. My Lords, the consequences of the Licensing Act 2003 have been to disadvantage many of the cornerstones of local life. It should not be the role of government to restrict creativity and community interaction, but to promote it. My Lords, this has been a most constructive and uncontroversial debate, with passionate speeches from noble lords who obviously care and love live music, and especially the live music. And I hope I have addressed most of the points mentioned, and if I have missed out anyone, I will of course write to them, and with further points that the noble Lord Stevenson asked. I congratulate my noble friend once again and wish the bill a safe and swift passage.